inching towards a deal to stop the war and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. There is no rush, says Donald Trump. US and Iranian officials are thought to be very close to reaching an agreement, but the world is still waiting for an announcement.
There is the possibility that over the next few hours, the world will get some good news, at least with regards to the Straits.
Also tonight, the Prime Minister backs a sentence review after 2 teenage boys convicted of rape were spared jail, and Spurs escape the Premier League drop.
This is ITV News with Geraint, Vincent.
Good evening. America's chief diplomat says significant progress has been made, but there is still no confirmation that a deal has been done to open the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil is shipped. President Trump had said that the plan was largely agreed, but has since posted that both American and Iranian negotiators must take their time to get it right. Iran's nuclear capability remains a stumbling block. Officials in Tehran say they have not agreed to surrender any of their stockpile of enriched uranium. Sabah Chowdhury reports.
President Trump, again, says he is very close to a deal with Iran.
From confrontation to compromise, or so it seems. After weeks of threats and retaliation, Washington and Tehran are apparently edging towards a deal. It began with a social media post from President Trump, claiming an agreement has been largely negotiated, but his confidence was met with caution.
Some progress has been made, significant progress, but I also want to caveat it by saying we still have some work to do.
Then a shift in the president's tone. Writing on social media, he said, "The negotiations are proceeding in an orderly and constructive manner, and I've informed my representatives not to rush into a deal. Both sides must take their time and get it right. There can be no mistakes. Our relationship with Iran is becoming a much more professional and productive one." But then there's the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil supplies that Iran reportedly is refusing to surrender, threatening a harsh response to any aggression. But there was some compromise.
We are prepared in negotiations, ready to assure the world that we are not seeking nuclear weapons. We are not seeking instability in the region. The source of instability is Israel.
Israel, despite an active ceasefire, issued 16 more evacuation warnings in Lebanon, accusing Iran-backed Hezbollah of breaching the agreement first. And so, for now, fractures to peace and cautious optimism contour the fragile diplomacy in the region. 3 months on, the endgame is still unknown. Sabah Chowdhury, ITV News.
Sir Keir Starmer has publicly supported a review of the sentences of 2 teenage boys who were spared jail after being found guilty of rape. The Prime Minister described the case in which 2 girls were assaulted in separate attacks in Hampshire as appalling. Our political reporter Jasmine Cameron-Cheleshi is here. Jasmine, this sentencing decision is getting quite a lot of political reaction, hasn't it?
That's right. So as you say, 2 teenage girls were raped by teenage boys. Now, the boys have been convicted, but they've avoided prison. They've instead got what's known as youth rehabilitation orders. And the judge said that he wanted to avoid criminalising these boys. But there's been a huge political backlash to this decision. And this morning, a government minister was asked about this case, and he appeared visibly moved after hearing the account of one of the girls who gave an interview with the BBC.
Those girls deserve justice. As do their families, both for them, but also for other girls that are put in that position. And quite frankly, other boys need to know that they can't behave in that way and get away with it. It was very hard to watch because no parent wants their daughter to be in those circumstances. And you don't want a society in which girls are growing up in those circumstances.
Now, in that interview, Darren Jones also confirmed that the Attorney General will be reviewing that decision and has 28 days to do so. And the families of the victims say that the current sentence is effectively a slap on the wrist. And so I think there's going to be lots of people both inside and outside of government paying close attention to the findings of that review.
OK, Jasmine, many thanks. World leaders have condemned Russia's use of a hypersonic missile in a large-scale assault on Kiev that killed 4 people and injured dozens. Emergency services worked to extinguish fires after the attack damaged residential and government buildings. The speed at which the missile travels makes it difficult to intercept. Hundreds of drones and cruise missiles were also used in the attack. Sport now, and in the history of the Premier League, there's been arguably no bigger side to flirt with relegation than Tottenham Hotspur. It was a nervy afternoon, but they got the result they needed to stay up, and in doing so, they sent West Ham down instead. Chris Scudder is at the Spurs Stadium this evening. Chris, a great deal of relief where you are, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely, Geraint. Yeah, it would have been a seismic moment in Premier League history had one of the big 6 traditional clubs been relegated. That was a real danger a few weeks ago, but they've recovered under Roberto De Zerbi. Only one combination of results would have sent them down today. That was them losing here to Everton and West Ham beating Leeds, which they did, but Spurs won by 1-0. This was the league had to do what they had to do. We thought they'd beat Leeds, they did by...
Stress. I've never known stress like it.
Just couldn't wait for that final whistle. Hence game I've ever been to, but it's a good birthday present for him this weekend.
Oh, how old are you?
7. I mean, the first half obviously great, second half a bit more nervy, but I mean, just relieved.
We go again next year, for sure.
It's been a strange season, hasn't it?
Weird season, but yeah, it's all good. We're never going down. Unbelievable, phenomenal end to the season.
They did it, and now we've got to go forward again next season, rebuild the team, get the management, sort things out. Up the Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs are staying up after 50 years in the top flight. West Ham, after 14, are going down. They'll be in the Championship next season.
All right, Chris, thank you. Before we go, we have to mention the weather, of course. You might not be surprised to hear that a heat wave has been officially declared in areas across England, with temperatures in some places of over 30 degrees Celsius. Amber health alerts are in place for vulnerable groups through until Wednesday. Tomorrow's going to be even hotter and is expected to bring a record high for temperatures in the month of May. And that's all for now. I'm back with the late news at 10:30. See you then. Enjoy your evening.